So a sense of welcoming, a sense of joining, this time, this space, this now, this here. The beginning of a period like this, we give to quiet for a while, 15 minutes or so, settling. The connection with the current experience, the acknowledgement of the particularity of this time and space, and the fact of this gathering. The experience of sitting, the quiet, the stillness within this body as we settle. How are we here and now? In touch with a sense of well-wishing, this here, this now, this time, this space. Connection here. The breath received and released. Experience, received and responded to. This now, this here. Being in touch, touching lightly, yet completely the whole of this experience. Rhythm of the breath, the rhythm of life. Received and released. And shared. Allowing the connection that life is. Received and released. There's a gift in this. It's a giving. And a receiving. The steadiness in this moment, the sensitivity of this moment, this presence, this now and here, and connection be experienced. Where there's a meeting, the bodily experience. Gives a grounding. The knowing gives connection. It's like this. This knowing is known, and life is given to life. This is our opportunity. This is the preciousness. This is a rhythm. We give. Give attention to, give care to. Allowing the unknown to be known. The trust in this knowing. breath. Not much of a bell. A welcoming. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. Just acknowledging this is not a usual venue. And the sound may be a bit echoey if I'm not careful how I pitch it. And I'm not sure if the connection is stable enough, which is an interesting reflection. Is your connection stable enough? So this not knowing and knowing this not knowing, this willingness to trust, at some level we all have to do this, that we make sense of it. No, we make sense of it. We give it meaning, our experience. The raw experience in itself is just raw experience, the meaning we give it is what we put on it. And it's helpful. And then, there are other forces at work, and there are things that we don't understand. And just because we don't understand them doesn't mean they don't affect. Just because one doesn't know what a sign says, it doesn't mean that the sign doesn't have some importance, danger. So it's a sign that sometimes appears in our lives. And maybe it's written in a different language, or we don't recognize it as danger, or maybe the sign isn't clear to us. It doesn't mean that what it's not indicating is not dangerous. It doesn't. And this is, so that sense of care around things is helpful, that we really don't know for sure very much. Our interpretations and the meaning we give things is just what we have done. And maybe we don't don't recognize that, actually what's happening. And I feel that sense of openness, which allows that not knowing to be quite peaceful, really. I don't have to know everything for sure, but what I can know for sure is that things are not sure. And that's actually okay. Then whatever responses come are what comes. Because I can just know I really don't know what's happening. And that I expect that I feel quite privileged that I can trust like that. And it's not that I don't plan. It's not that I don't try to be careful about things and have some sort of plan, but I really know for sure that plans are not what actually happens. And that not knowing, and knowing that I don't know, and knowing that the tension that implies actually releases that tension. Because if I really settle into the fact that I don't know what's happening and I don't know how things are going to turn out, then I'm much more at ease with whatever does happen. Yes, I prepare. I think in terms of preparation for us humans, the preparation is the practice of the Eightfold Path. That's the preparation that we can do, and it's always a work in progress. It's always just a practice, until it has been practiced. If it's been, it's a work in progress. But to the extent that it has been practiced, it has been practiced. Ajahn Buddhadasa, there was a large, unfinished building in his monastery at Wat Suan Mok that had been going on for a number of years, I think. It was a building of sorts. And, the story I hear, or what I remember of the story I hear, and if I was there, I can't remember, was that when people asked him, well, when is that building going to be finished? Like the Sagrada Familia, it had been going on for a number of years, maybe not as long as that, but the answer he gave is, and in terms of the practice of the Eightfold Path, it's an interesting reflection, I think, because what he said was, what's done is finished. So in your practice of the Eightfold Path, having some confidence that what you've done is finished. What you've done of the Eightfold Path, how you've practiced, is how you've finished. How much you've done is what you've done. So because the relationship that one talks about in terms of the Four Noble Truths is dukkha is to be understood. It has been understood. And that's the first three. There is dukkha, it is to be understood, and it has been understood. And then the second three, dukkha, the cause of dukkha, is to be abandoned and has been abandoned. The path is to be practiced and has been practiced, and the cessation of dukkha is to be realized and has been realized. And that's the relationship that, one gives life nobility and gives it some worth and some value. And to think, well, how much should I do? What should I do? How far I am on it? There's so much I in that. So much I in getting and gaining. Have I really got it done, or what have I done? What's done has been done. The amount you've practiced is the amount you've practiced. The amount that you've understood dukkha is the amount that you've understood dukkha. The amount that you've given up the course of extra dukkha is just that much. And the cessation that you've realized is the cessation that you've realized in this moment. If you keep the sense of, well, I haven't done enough going, then, or I don't understand it enough going, or I need to let go more going, or I haven't realized enough going, then you're always working from a sense of creating extra problems for yourself. Just keep practicing. But it's good to have some indication or some sort of idea of where you're going. So you have some confidence that there's something you can do. You have some idea of what's skillful and what's not skillful. You have some reflection or some way of guiding your intentions so it's not indulgence, not harming, and not dwelling in hatred. You have some idea of what's useful to speak about and what's not useful to speak about and how to speak. You have some idea of what to do and what not to do, and you have some confidence that you've got some idea. But once you know, and you know that you don't know all of it. Because what happens next, you don't know. And then you keep going with the rest of the path, and then you check. If you want to check, what has been finished, how much are unwholesome qualities not increasing, and how much are wholesome qualities increasing in your life, in general, all over. So that's the test. But don't, take responsibility give responsibility or receive the responsibility for what you can do in your own life, in the one that you're doing from moment to moment, from second to second, from in this moment, the giving of attention, the receiving of life, the giving of life to life, the sense of knowing this is what's happening. As much I don't know. And I don't know what I don't know because there's ignorance, and so there is some stress. This is part of it. Understanding that and not adding to it, or the degree that one doesn't add to it is the degree that one doesn't add to it. This is how much one has realized released the cause of extra suffering. It's the willingness to receive experience as it is, and the willingness to release expectation. Just listening today to somebody who said one of his old friends, who's probably in his 50s, he went to see him, and the friend is wearing a mask in hospital like this, so it looks quite fine. Because in hospitals at the moment, people wear masks like this because it's fear of infection and things. But he's actually missing most of his jaw because he's got cancer of the jaw, so he may not speak or eat again. At the moment, he's being fed through a tube. He's somebody who's been around Buddhism for a while, and even his teacher had a tracheotomy, had his throat done, and and his teacher told him that, well, someday that'll happen to you, and it is happening to him now. And so he communicates by typing on his phone and then holding that up. And he's okay, even with this and the uncertainty of whether he'll eat or speak again. And we just don't know what's going to happen next. And so what's done is done. What's practiced is practiced. And give that confidence to yourself that, this is the best that I can do. This is the best that I can practice, and I'm doing the best I can. With a sense of honesty, because what you will notice, because we're geared to notice what's wrong. That's the default for most human beings, is to notice what's wrong, what's not good enough, what you would like better, how you'd like to arrange it better, because that's actually a way of keeping safe in some ways. But noticing that one notices what's wrong is also, to take that also as an opportunity to also appreciate what's right and what is okay, and the fact that there is awareness and life, and that one can respond in a way that one can, as best one can, not cause more suffering for oneself or others, in as much as one can in the grand scheme of things. Given what ignorance we're dealing with, which is this much. So, the encouragement is to do the best you can. It's make the effort to not, but don't be complacent. It's a balance to make, a balance to take, balance to see what will reduce suffering now and in the future. Give time to sitting quietly, give time to being kind, give time to actually appreciating life, give time to receive the blessings of your life, give time to appreciate that many beings wish you well, that this has been, this is what humans can do actually better than most beings, is actually wish beings well, and wish all beings well. They have this capacity. Humans have this capacity. And human society depends upon people being good enough, kind to each other. Society breaks down when it's not like that. And everybody can notice how horrible that is. But it's not unsurprising, because that's what happens when harmony breaks down. There is no trust. But for the best we can, we do what we can. This is our opportunity But how it's going to work out, we just don't know. We just don't know. And that is okay. It's okay not to know. And that's, so long as we know that we don't know, is what it makes it helpful. And the difficulty is we don't know what we don't know, and that's when we cause more stress. Ignorance is not knowing what we don't know, and it's something we're doing. And that's the root cause of all the problems. But that's how it is. That's how it is. What we can know is this sense of knowing. We can give some attention to this experience. We come back to the breath, come back to the rhythm of receiving and releasing the breath, because that's the easiest one to come back to. Because it's, the receiving and responding to sensations. Yeah, we have to be quite careful around and constrained around to really give full attention to receive all the sensations. But we can work with that. And we can know that we know, and we can work with that. And know the limit of that. The getting and the gaining, we don't have to add. The pushing away and the adding to a sense of dissatisfaction, we don't have to add. We can experience this sense of inadequacy, we can experience a sense of fear, we can experience a sense of hatred. We don't have to add to those either. We don't have to give a full attention to act on them. Giving attention to something gives it space to be as it is. And the condition of all things, when they are as they are, is that they begin and they end. That's how all things that have come together are. And that all that's if we give them space to end, they will end. One way or another, everything that started will finish. It will finish. It's the nature of things to do that. One of the reasons that I'm here now, in this particular place at this particular time, is because somebody died on Christmas Day, and that was they were 100, so some people said, well, that was unexpected, and I said, everything that's born will die, and so to say that death is an unexpected thing is true but not right but not true. What you can expect, that everything that's born will die. And that's the long and short of it. But yeah, there are causes and conditions, and one of the results of the causes and conditions is that this particular room, this particular time, this particular body is here now. It's as simple as that. It's okay. There are other causes and conditions. What a particular experience in a particular time, in a particular place. And this whole putting in a time and place is a strange thing, and it's something that we make. we make time and space, which is a strange thing to realize. And what is it that makes time and space is a question. Or is it something that, because if they're the same thing, then what gives it a particularity? And, if it's part of, and possibly it's not even possible to know what the true reality of all of this is, because we're not dealing with that. And if it's necessary to know? I doubt it. The Lord Buddha certainly didn't seem to think it was. When you ask about where it all begins and where it all ends, he said, wrong question. The question to ask is, where do earth, fire, water, air, no footing find? Where do earth, fire, water, air, no footing find? Where do they not settle? And that's the heart of the Arahant, heart of the pure release. That is something to consider, because it is interesting. Where does it all end? Where does it all begin? How does it all happen? If you spend too much time thinking about that, then careful, because it's not necessarily. I think the thing to think about, if you're going to think about it, is to put it in terms of Dhamma and to consider what the Lord Buddha said about it. Put it in terms of that, and that's a safe use of sankappa, of thought, of volition and of intention, a sense of the sense of, where do the earth, fire, water and air no footing find? And allow that to, our sense of time and space, to allow that to dissolve in some way. Where does it dissolve? How does it dissolve? Don't worry about it, but just recognize that what we think is reality ain't necessarily so. Things are very, very uncertain, and that's the nature of things. What we think is happening ain't necessarily so, and that's okay. That's okay. So I offer that for your consideration, and maybe it's helpful, maybe it's not. If it's not, then leave it behind. There are plenty of other teachers and teachings around, and some may bring some different relief to the heart. This is what I can offer in this time, this space, this now, this here. So, if there are other questions, then if you try to type them, I might be able to read them. The screen that I'm working on is much smaller than usual, so maybe a little bit too small for me to see. Let's see. Thank you. If there are any questions, please try. We'll give it some time and space. Okay, so we've got a whole load of questions. Okay. We've got 3 questions. At least that's what it says. I'm not sure if I can move them up so I can see the first one. These are scholastic questions. Dear Ajahn, there are some questions for tonight. In the Samyutta Nikaya 23.2, the Satta Sutta, Sentient Beings, the Buddha said, "You should scatter, destroy and demolish form, making it unplayable. You should scatter, destroy and demolish feelings, perceptions, choices, consciousness, making it unplayable. You should practice for the end of craving. What on earth does that mean? What does it mean by destroy and demolish form and the rest of the khandhas? Please, can you explain? Thank you. Sounds violent. I think it's to do with not taking it personally and not taking it because the five khandhas, they're a made up thing, and they will return to nature. I'm not sure that this is correct, but what I've heard about Ajahn Chah talking about theft, when we take the five khandhas personally, say that they're mine and me, we steal them from nature. And we actually, that sense of disconnection, we disconnect form, feeling, perception, conception and consciousness, rupa, vedana, sanya, sankara, vijnana. By taking it personally, we separate and disconnect from nature. When we don't take it personally, we can actually connect with the way things actually are, with nature, with the whole business of this sense of separation is not taken so seriously. It's part of nature. And there's not that, and then scatter, destroy, demolish, making it unplayable means we don't, oh no, for me, it means not taking it personally. But I don't know where you got the translation from, and there are probably other translations that put it in a different context. But somebody who's been studying the Samyutta 1263, Patu Mangsa Sutta, the sun's flesh. Oh, I've given that talk. Have you been reading faithfully and then following it up? It looks like it. I think it's been on there. Yeah, because I think it puts it really strongly, that one. And I think I've given a whole talk about nutriments. But it's and why, when the nutriment of intellectual intention is comprehended, that's karma. Three forms of craving are comprehended because you understand what karma is. You understand what tanha is, bhava tanha, karma tanha, vibhava tanha. Understanding is then the opportunity to let go. And then thirdly, many people have done unskillful and unwholesome things in the past. How then should one do? What should one do, or how should one do to compensate for other people's compensate for other people's unskillful karma? Or are the results unavoidable that one will inevitably have to suffer from the vipaka? Very little karma is completely fixed. It's very little is completely fixed. You can probably avoid quite a lot of karma. That's what they say. I mean, if Angulimala could do it, then most people can. But it's not you do actually have to do something in order to avoid the results of unskillful karma. The chances are that you will suffer from it. And what one can do about stopping other people from suffering from unskillful karma, I really don't know. I think there are probably things that one can do, but I'm not sure that I have the skill to really deal with them. I think maybe some people do give suggestions. Yeah, and I'm sorry if I haven't answered those fully enough. One question. Aren't there cases when feeling and perceptions help us to understand our physical and psychological limits? How to not take them personally? I think, Sophia, we can understand them better, our physical and psychological limits, by not taking them personally, by a sense of feeling I don't wish to cause more suffering, by not understanding feelings and perceptions. It's not that one shouldn't have feelings and perceptions. It's just that one recognizes that they're just this much. In fact, not taking things personally is not being insensitive. It's being actually more sensitive, because one's not holding on to them and thinking, well, they should be this way and they shouldn't be the other way. One actually can more listen and receive what is happening, and then the responses can come more fluidly and without a sense of wanting to get my way out of it. Yeah. This is the same sort of question as the one above. Many people have done unskillful, unwholesome things in the past. Why do some people fall off the track, and how to help them get back on it? Habit, and ingrained habit. It just goes on and on and on. So often one can find oneself, falling into a habit that one knows is unskillful. And this is the time to remember is actually just at that point. If you make determinations never to do something wrong again, then the chances are that you'll put in motion the causes for doing something wrong again. The way to do it is more to just remember at the point, and then feel the relief of not following the unwholesome habit, and appreciate that relief. Then that's yeah. This is the same thing as the adhitthana as well. Fall off the track, because you make the determination not to fall off the track, and then you make a resolution. And Ajahn Vajiro used to say years ago, I don't know whether he still does it, he used to say, Mara loves a good adhitthana, because the sense of me involved with, I am making this resolution, can really, and then the sense of, well, I've kept this resolution, and then the sense of, I can't keep this resolution, is something to be careful about. I think that with resolutions and New Year's resolutions, there are so many pet theories about them. Adhitthana is about remembering. For me, adhitthana is about remembering in the moment what one's decided. It's like setting, with the roads to success, there's chanda, virya, chitta, vimamsa. It's to do with chitta, bearing the goal in mind in terms of roads to success. And holding it much more lightly than I must do this. It's more like okay, this is what I've decided. This is the direction I wish to go in. And just remembering that, rather than making it into some sort of fixed thing that then, of course, or for me, if I try to make it into some sort of fixed thing, then it makes it into a whole business of stress when at some point I might break it. It's like I say to people, if you're going to pick up a meditation practice, then decide to do it every day for an hour for 3 months. And I say you won't, but at least you'll have made that commitment to doing it. And you'll know when you don't do it. But you'll say, well, I'll try and do it I will do it every day for 3 months. And then notice that you'll fail. And then you don't get too proud about it. You just keep going and just pick yourself up and keep going. That's what I suggest about New Year's resolutions. You're lucky nowadays because, there are at least 5 New Years. There's the one that's coming up soon. There's Chinese New Year. There's Thai New Year. There's Jewish New Year, and there's Buddhist New Year. So each year has at least 5 New Years. So you have 5 times to reaffirm your resolutions, your New Year's resolutions. So enjoy them. I think find a way to enjoy your resolutions so that they're not so much of a burden for you. And then go with that. Okay. Thank you very much.